Hey friends, what's happening? Welcome back to Babel on Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Kuf Yud Tes of Masechta Shabbos. Friends, this is, what can I tell you? It's an amazing Daf. What can I tell you? There's just great stuff on it. So, it's without further ado, I'm just going to jump in. Friends, we're all the way at the bottom of Daf Kuf Yud Ches Amud Beis, on the last line. Ve'amar Abaye, and says Abaye, I think that's what we got up to, right? Yeah, we did. It says Abaye, Teisli d'chi chazina tzurba me rabbanan, t'shlim mesechta avidna yom hatav rabbanan. Friends, isn't that amazing? Abaye says that, I hope to get schar, because whenever I see, so as Rashi points out, in the first Rashi in Daf Kuf Yud Tes Amud Aleph, so avidna yom hatav rabbanan talmidim Rosh Yeshiva. So Abaye, of course, was the Rosh Yeshiva in Pumbedisa. After Rav Yehuda, and after Rabbah, and after Rav Yosef, Abaye was the Rosh Yeshiva in Pumbedisa. And he says that he deserves schar, he deserves reward, because whenever he would see that the students at the yeshiva in Pumbedisa would finish a tractate, would finish a masechta, he would make a big yom tov for everybody in the yeshiva. So I believe that this is like, I think I was told that this is the source for making a Siyum, right? After we finish a Masechta, which we will be doing soon enough, and boy, have we earned this one. So it's good to make a Siyum, to get together, to gather with friends and celebrate. So Rava says, I should get my reward because when a young Torah scholar comes before me to din, right? Meaning if there's a court case involving a young Torah scholar, no mazigna reishay abesadia, I do not rest my head on my pillow until I have turned over every stone and I have looked at every possible way to see if he could possibly be innocent. Obviously, he would not be dishonest in judgment, but he would make sure and see and do whatever he can to see if there would be a way for this Torah scholar to be innocent. Marbrav Ashi says, I am disqualified from being a judge for Talmidei Chachamim. My time outcome, because they're so beloved to me like my own body, and nobody could see guilt to himself, and he considers all these Talmidei Chachamim to be as beloved to him like his own body, and therefore he would be unable to make them guilty. Rabbi Chanina mi'atev v'koi apanya d'male shabsa omer bo v'netze likras Shabbos hamalka. So Rabbi Chanina, he would wrap himself up and he would get dressed in special clothing on Erev Shabbos, and he would say, come and let's go out to greet the Queen of Shabbos. Rabbi Yanai, as Rashi says, boi kala, we're about to read that. Fine. So Rabbi Yanai, lavish monei mali Shabbos v'omer boi kala. Rabbi Yanai would put on special Shabbos clothes, and he would on Erev Shabbos, and he would say, come queen, come queen. Rashi says, Boi chala, hachi karile l'shvisa Shabbos mitoch chavivus, out of love of Shabbos, and what's that called? Out of I don't know, when you love something. Out of chavivus, out of I don't know, what do you want me to tell you? So out of love kind of thing. Affection. So out of affection for Shabbos, so he would get dressed and he would say, Boi kala, Boi kala. Rabba bar Rav Huna ikla levei Rabba bar Rav Nachman. So Rabba, the son of Rav Huna, visited Rabba, the son of Rav Nachman. I guess, interesting, Rav Huna and Rav Nachman were contemporaries, and I guess they both had a child named Rabba, and I guess they were contemporaries. So Rabba bar Rav Huna visited Rabba bar Rav Nachman. Krivule tlas save tache. Okay, so they brought out to Rabba bar Rav Huna 3 sa'as of these very very fancy breads, cooking some kind of oil, sounded like it would probably be very tasty. Amrle, so Rabba bar Rav Huna, so he said to Rabba bar Rav Nachman, Mi'avi ad isun te asina. He said, wow, were you guys expecting me that you made such fancy foods? Amrule mi'adifas lan mina. Well, do you think that you are more sort of better to us than her, meaning than Shabbos? No, we make this every Shabbos. It's the covered Shabbos, right? And of course we're going to have this on Shabbos. Rabbi Abba Zabin bitleisar astire pshite bisra mitleisar tabache. So Rabbi Abba, he would buy with 13 coins meat from 13 different butchers in town. I don't know where he lived actually. Umashlimlu atzinora dedasha, and he would leave them on the entrance to his home. Ve'amalu asher haya, and he would say, prepare them quickly. He would say to the people in his house, prepare them quickly. That he was running around, he was getting the best possible meat that he could find for Shabbos. Now interestingly, Rashi, later on, we're going to see another place where 13 comes up, and Rashi actually says that the number 13 is kind of like an exaggeration number. I mean, it doesn't literally mean that he went to exactly 13 butchers. It means that he was running around town and he went to, he was running around and buying the finest meats that he could find. Was it exactly 13? That's not the point. It means that he went to a lot of butchers. I'll actually read that Rashi. It's later on, further down the page, in Tresar Alise de Dinre. So, and like the second line of the Rashi says, V'guzma ba'almahu. It's just an exaggeration. Klomar, in this case it was hon atak ma'od, it was like a lot of money, but kachper shabenu alevi v'chein b'chol makom, in every place. Kigon tleisar gamle sapike trifta v'chein tleisar tabachi del. So he said, and he quotes our Gemara that we just read, the 13 butchers that Rabbi Abba would go to doesn't literally mean that he went to 13 butchers. Maybe he did, maybe he went to 20, maybe he went to 10. The point is that he would run around town trying to get the best meats that he can wherever they are. Fine. Rabbi Abba, says Rashi points out, Rabbi Abba was shechashav haya va'ashir. Rabbi Abba was very important and he was very wealthy. Hava Yosef atachtika deshina. He would sit on Erev Shabbos, he would sit on an ivory chair. Umoshif nura, and he would, blow on the fire, meaning he would manage the fire to make sure that it was nice, good and hot. Rav Anan lavish, meaning before Shabbos. Rav Anan lavish gunda. Rav Anan, he would wear like a black cloak, like a chef's kind of clothing. He would put on clothing and he would get in the kitchen. The Tana, Rabbi Devei, Rabbi Shmuel was talking about Rabbi Shmuel, Begadim shebishal bayin kedei l'rabo, that the clothing that a person cooks, food for his master, al yimzog bayin kos l'rabo. You shouldn't wear those same clothing to then pour wine for his master. The point being that there is different clothing that you should wear for different purposes. And therefore, he was working in the kitchen on Erev Shabbos, and therefore, he would put on kitchen clothing to get involved for the preparations for Shabbos. Rav Safra machrich reisha. Rav Safra, he would char the head of whatever, sheep or goat or whatever he was eating that evening. Rava malach shivuta. Rava would prepare the herring. He would salt fish. Rav Huna madlik shage. Rav Huna, he would light flames, light lamps. Rav Papa gadol psilta. Rav Papa would twist wicks. Rav Chizda parim silka. Rav Chizda would chop the beets. Rabba of Rav Yosef mitzal chetzive. Rabba and Rav Yosef, they would split the wood. They would chop wood. Reb Zera mitzates tzatuse. Reb Zera would light like twigs and things. He would kindle the wood. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak mechatev va'ayil mechatev v'nafik. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, he would schlep, right? He would put stuff on his shoulders and go inside, go outside. He would be schlepping all sorts of things. Omar, he said, Ilu mekalan li Rabbi Ami v'Rabbi Asi milo machtefina kamayu. He said, well, if Rabbi Ami and Rabbi Asi were coming, would I not do the same? Would I not schlep things around to make sure everything was perfect for them? Well, I'm going to do the same thing, of course, for Shabbos. Now, interesting that Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak was would be preparing for Rabbi Ami and Rabbi Asi, because I assume Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak was in Bavel, and Rabbi Ami and Rabbi Asi were in Tiberia. Al koponim, v'ika da Amri, that those who say, Rabbi Ami Rabbi Asi machtefe v'ayle machtefe v'nafke. Some say it was Taka Rabbi Ami and Rabbi Asi who would be schlepping things. Amri, they said, Ilu iklalan Rabbi Yochanan, milomach tefinon kame. If Rabbi Yochanan would come to visit us, would we not, schlep things around to make sure everything is perfect? So we're going to do that for Shabbos as well. Yosef Mokir Shabbat. This story of Yosef who loved Shabbos. It reminds me of the Shlomo Carlebach story, Chatzkala Lekavod Shabbos. So here we have Yosef Mokir Shabbat. Maybe this was the inspiration. There was a certain Gentile in his neighborhood that had a lot of properties. He owned a lot of stuff. He was very wealthy. Now the stargazers told this Gentile fellow, Yosef Mokir Shabbos, Yosef, the one who loved Shabbos, he is going to get all of your possessions. So now this Gentile, he didn't want Yosef Mokir Shabbos to get all of his possessions. So Azal Zabninu l'chule nichse. So he went and he sold everything that he owned. Zaban behu marganisa. And instead he bought this one pearl with all of his money. And he figured as long as he can hold on to this pearl, he'll hold on to all of his wealth. Yosef Mokir Shabbos won't get it. Well, guess what happened? Osva b'saine, he put it in his hat. When he was crossing some kind of river on a ferry, a wind came and blew the pearl that was worth all of this fellow's wealth into the water. Bilai kavra, and a fish swallowed this pearl. Aisua apanya demaile shabsa, and then the fishermen caught the fish and they took it out of the water on Erev Shabbos. Amre, and the fishermen said, all right, well, we just caught this fish. Man zabin kiashta, who's going to buy this fish right now? It's mamash right before Shabbos. Nobody's buying things anymore. What are we going to do? Amre luhud. So they told these fishermen, you know what? Zilu amtiyu legabi Yosef Mokir Shabbos. Why don't you go and see if maybe you can sell your catch to Yosef Mokir Shabbos? I know it's right before Shabbos, but he'll do anything for Shabbos. He loves Shabbos so much. Another piece of fish? Of course, he will buy it. Deragel the Zabin, because he normally buys these things for Shabbos. Amtiyu aniale Zabne. So they brought this fish to Yosef Mokir Shabbos, and sure enough, he bought it. Kare, and he cut it open. Ashkach Bey Marganisa, and sure enough, he found this pearl. Zabne Betlesar Elisa de Dinre de Daiva, and he then sold this pearl for 13 attics of gold coins. Right? So again, as Rashi was saying, it doesn't literally mean 13 attics, but it means quite a few gold coins. And he was now a very wealthy man, just like that. Classic Hasidic story. Guy loves Shabbos. He buys a fish. In the fish is tons and tons of wealth, of unfathomable wealth. Pagabe Usava, and then a certain elder found Yosef Mokir Shabbos. Omar, and he said, Man de Yazif Shabsa. He who loans against Shabbos, who takes out money for Shabbos, I don't know if it literally means that he took out a loan or that he invests a lot in Shabbos, well then Shabbos will pay him back, as was evidenced by this story with the pearl. Rebbe asked from Rabbi Shema Bar Yossi, Ashirim sheberetz Yisrael bameh hein zochen. The wealthy in Israel, in what way do they merit to receive their wealth? Amrle, so Rabbi Bar Yossi responded to Rebbe, Bishvil shema'asrin, because they are makbid to separate ma'aser. Shneimar, as the pasuk says in somewhere in the Torah. I don't remember what parsha it is, but it's somewhere in Sefer Devarim. Aser te'aser, aser b'shvil shetis asher. Right? It says, you shall surely take ma'aser, but the drasha is, what does it mean aser te'aser? Means aser, take ma'aser, kidei shetis asher, so that, or b'shvil shetis asher, so that you become wealthy. So that is how the wealthy people in Eretz Yisrael merited their wealth, because they take ma'aser. She b'Bavel b'meh ein zochin. The wealthy of Babylon, from what do they merit to receive their wealth? Amrle, Rebbe said, Bishvil No. So Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi responded to Rabbi, because they honor the Torah. And the wealthy people in other lands other than Eretz Yisrael and Bavel, from what do they merit to receive their wealth? Amrle, so Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi responded, because they give proper respect and honor to Shabbos. The Amr Reb Chia bar Abba, says Reb Chia bar Abba, Pam Achas, or Amr Reb Chia bar Abba, Pam Achas, one time, Nisarachti Eitzel, Balabayis Beludkaya. I was a guest by a certain Balabayis, by a certain homeowner in Ludkaya. Reviewed Lefanav, and they brought in front of him. I think it means that they brought in front of the Balabayis Shulchan Shel Zahav, or maybe it's they brought in front of no, because he's responding that he's telling a story that he was at. So I assume that they brought in front of this Balabayis a Shulchan Shel Zahav, a golden table, Masu Shisha Asu Bnei Adam, that it required 16 people to carry this gold table. V'sheish esrei shal shalosh shal kesef kvuos bo, and there were 16 chains of silver in this, connected to this table. V'kairis, v'kosis, v'kitonius, v'tzlochius kvuos bo, and there were plates and cups and ladles and pitchers and all sorts of very, very expensive things. There's all sorts of foods and all sorts of treats and very fancy things. Uvsamim, and great smelling things. Ushemanichim oso, and when they would put down the table, omrim, they would say, Lashem ha'aretz umloa v'gomer, everything belongs to God, of course, until you make a bracha. Ushemasalkin oso, and when they would remove the table, omrim, they would say, Hashemayim, Shemayim la'Hashem, that the heavens belong to God, v'aretz nasan l'vnei Adam, and the land is given to men. As Rashi says, v'aretz nasan l'vnei Adam, aydei matanoso ne'aninu hatov azos. By way of God's gift, we have enjoyed all of this. Amartilo, says Rabbi Chia bar Abba, he says he said to this fellow, Bini, b'mezachisa l'chach, how did you merit to have such wealth, such a lifestyle? Amrli, he told me, Katzav ayisi, once upon a time I was a butcher, and from every animal that was beautiful, Amarti zotei l'Shabbos, I said, this animal, that's going to be for Shabbos. That, in that merit, I received all of this great extravagance that you are witnessing. Amarti lo, I said to him, Ashrecha shezachisa, you are fortunate that you merited. Uvaruch hamakom shezikecha l'chach, and blessed is God who gave you this merit. Armele Kesel Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya. Wow. Said the Caesar to Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya. Wow. I feel like there's like a bunch of stories like this with Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya. At the end of Masechta Nida also, there's like these stories with Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya and the I think it was the elders of Alexandria. That was also some great stuff. Anyways, so the Caesar said to Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya, he said, listen, Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya, how come Shabbos food smells so good? Amrlo, Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya said to him, Tavlin echad yesh lanu. We have a certain special spice. And I'll tell you what it is. V'Shabbos shmo. This spice is called Shabbos. Shanu matilin l'socho v'recho nodef. If we put this Shabbos spice into our food, and that's why it smells so good. Amrlo, so the Caesar said to Rabbi Yeshua, he said, Nu, tein lanu emenu. So can you give us some of this Shabbos? Amrlo, Rabbi Yeshua said to him, Kol mishamer es ha-Shabbos mo'ilo. V'sheinu mishamer es ha-Shabbos einu mo'ilo. If you're shomer Shabbos, well then the spice works. If you're not shomer Shabbos, the spice is not going to work. Wow. Amrle Reish Gelusa Rav Amnuna. The Reish Gelusa said to Rav Amnuna, Ma'dichsiv v'lekedosh Hashem mechubad. What does it mean that to the one that's honored by God you shall call holy? Right. So I made a mistake. When I translated this verse the other day, I think on Kuf Yud Gimel, I noticed that when I was listening back to the daf, but I call it Kadosh Hashem Mechubad. I don't know. I think I said it was referring to Hashem. It's referring to Shabbos. Shabbos is Kadosh Hashem. So in this case, actually, the assumption is actually the Kadosh Hashem is not referring to Shabbos. It's referring to something else, right? Because he says, right, it says, V'karasa Shabbos oneg, v'lekedosh Hashem mechubad. It sounds like you're calling Shabbos oneg, and the Kedosh Hashem, which is something else, you're calling mechubad. So the question is, what is this Kedosh Hashem? Got it, friends? Good. What does it mean that you call the Kedosh Hashem mechubad? So Rav Amnuna said to the Reish Galusa, Zeh Yom HaKippurim. So the Kedosh Hashem, that which is holy by God, is a reference to Yom Kippur. She'ein bo lo achila v'lo shtia, that you don't eat on Yom Kippur and you don't drink on Yom Kippur. Amar Torah, kabdeu b'chsus nikia. So how do you make Yom Kippur mechubad, honorable, with clean clothing? V'chibadito. So now back to Shabbos, it says you shall honor it, right? So it says, right, the Kedosh Hashem mechubad, you call Yom Kippur mechubad. Now v'chibadito, going back to Shabbos, you shall honor it. So how do you honor it? So Rav Amar lehakdim, u'Shmuel Amar le'acher. So Rav says, well, if whenever you normally have lunch, so then on Shabbos you should have lunch earlier than that. Shmuel says, whenever you normally have lunch, you should have lunch later than that, so you'll be hungry and you'll have more of an appetite. Amru le bnei Rav Papa bar Abba le Rav Papa. So the sons of Rav Papa bar Abba said to Rav Papa, Kigon anon deshchiach lon bisur v'chamer kol yoma. Well, we have meat and wine every single day. So b'may nishanye. So how should we make Shabbos different than every other day? Amru lehu. So Rav Papa said to them, irigilisu la'akdume achrua, irigilisu la'achrua akdemua. If you normally eat early, well then on Shabbos you should eat late. If you normally eat late, then on Shabbos you should eat your lunch early. Rav Sheshes. So remember, Rav Sheshes was blind. Bekaita mosivlu l'Rabbanon heicha dematya shimsha, besitva mosivlu l'Rabbanon heicha dematya tula ki'eicha delikumu. Heya. Right, so Rav Sheshes was blind, so he didn't know, he had no way of knowing what time it was. He couldn't use his vision, he couldn't look at a watch, couldn't look at the sun, couldn't look at anything. So, therefore, when he would give the shir on Shabbos morning before lunch, so how would he know when it's lunchtime? He couldn't look at the sun, couldn't look at anything. So what he would do is he came up with a different trick. So bekaita in the summer, motiv lu l'Rabbanan eicha dematya shimsha. So he would sit the students in a place where, when the sun would get higher in the sky, it would shine on them and they would get uncomfortable, and he would realize that, somehow would realize that they're uncomfortable, and he would say, okay, go eat lunch. Besitva in the winter, so he would do the opposite. Most of the Rabbanan eicha dematya tula. He would put the rabbis where the shade, where it would become shady, and then in that sense they would get uncomfortable. And then they would kiechi delikumu heya, so that they would get up quickly and go eat, because that's important to eat on Shabbos, right? As we talked about, called ma'anigas haShabbos, all those things about people who, make Shabbos a delight. Rav Zera mehader azuze zuze derabanan amru b'matusa minaychu lo sechal lenune. Rav Zera, whenever he would see pairs of the Torah students that weren't going to the cafeteria for lunch or weren't going to the Shabbos meal, so Amrlu, he would say to them, "Matusa minaychu, please, lo sechal lelune, do not be machal Shabbos, do not profane Shabbos by not giving it its proper, enjoying yourself on Shabbos." Amar Rava v'tem Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, afilu yochid hamispal be'erev Shabbos tzarich lomar vayichulu. Even somebody who's davening by himself on erev Shabbos, he says vayichulu hashemayim v'aretz v'chol tzva'am, etc. The Amar Rav Amnuna, because Rav Amnuna said, kol hamispal be'erev Shabbos v'omer vayichulu. Anybody who prays on erev Shabbos and says vayichulu, ma'ila olav akasuv. It's as though he became a partner with God in creating the world. Whereas don't say that vayichulu, i.e. that the entire creation was finished. No, rather say vayichalu, that they completed. Right? So therefore, anybody who says vayichulu, even a yachid, even somebody by himself who says vayichulu, he becomes a partner with God in the creation of the world. Amar Rabbi Elazar, says Rabbi Elazar, dibur k'maisa. How do you know that just saying something is like doing it? Shenemar b'dvar Hashem shamayim naisu, that in the word of God the heavens were made. Isn't that interesting? Usually we say emor ma'at v'aseh arbeh, say a little, do a lot. Here it's like, no, say as much as you want. The more you say, the more you do. It's a funny kind of concept. Usually we try to promote the opposite, I feel like. Amar of Chizda, Amar Mar Ukva, it says of Chizda in the name of Mar Ukva. Anybody who prays on Erev Shabbos and says Vayichulu, Shnei Malachei Asharis Amelavin Lo La'adam Manichin Yedein Al Rosho. So the two ministering angels that are escorting a person, I think it specifically escorting a person on Shabbos. So they put their hands, they rest their hands on his head, Ve'omrim Lo, and they say to him, V'sar Avonecha V'chatascha Tichupar, that your sin shall be removed from you, and any of your sins should be atoned for. Just want to make sure that I read that correctly. Yes, I did. Okay. Tanya, Rabbi Yossi Bar Yehuda Omer, says Rabbi Yossi Bar Yehuda, Shnei Malachei Asharis Melavin Lo La'adam Be'erev Shabbos Mi Beis HaKnesses Leveso. Extremely famous. That there are two ministering angels that escort a person on Erev Shabbos from the synagogue to his house. Echad Tov ve'echad Ra. One of them is a good angel, one of them is a bad angel. Uchsheba leveso, and when he comes to his house, umatza ner daluk v'shulchan aruch umitas umutzaas, and the angel finds that there is a candle lit, and the table is set, and the bed is made. Malach Tov Omer yiratzon shtei l'Shabbos acheres kach. So the good angel, he says, may it be the will that the same should be next week, that there should be a candle lit, and the table set and the bed made. And the bad angel is forced to say amen against his will. But if the angels get there and there is no candle lit, and the bed is not made, and the table is not set, well, the Malach Ra Omer, well, then the bad angel says, wow, well, I hope that it should be the same way next week, that nothing should be prepared, and the good angel is forced to say amen against his will. Wow. Amr Belazar, says Belazar, misader adam shulchanu be'erev Shabbos. A person should always set his table on Friday, even though he really only needs to eat an olive's worth of food, but he should nonetheless, bring out the good dishes and the good silverware, the good wine and the good wine glasses, everything. From Reb Chanina, and says Reb Chanina, a person should always set his table on Motzai Shabbos from Lav Malka. Even though you only need a kazayas, you should nonetheless set your table for a Suda on Motzai Shabbos. Chamin b'Motzai Shabbos milugma. Having hot tea and a hot bath on Motzai Shabbos is very, very healthy. Pascham of Motzai Shabbos, warm bread on Motzai Shabbos, milugma, is very healthy. Rabbi Abou, havu avdin le ba'apuke shabbata igla tilsa. Rabbi Abou, every Motzai Shabbos, they would prepare for him a very choice calf, a calf of a third. Okay, I don't remember if that means like the third to its mother or like a third of its age. I don't remember, but it was like the best, choicest calf. Have achil mine kulyisa, and he would literally eat just one kidney from the calf and throw the rest in the garbage. Ki gadol Avimi brei. Now, when his son Avimi got older, Amrle lama lach lafsude kulehai. How come you're like wasting an entire calf? You're literally just eating one kidney and throwing the rest away. Nishbo kulyisa mimayle shabsa. Why don't you just take a kidney from Friday and save that for Motzai Shabbos? Shavku v'asa arya achle. So Rabbi Abou said, okay, good idea. So the next week, they just left over a kidney from Friday, and that's what he ate on Motzai Shabbos. Guess what? A lion came and killed the sheep. And killed the calf. So interesting. So I guess that was what was supposed to be done, was that Rabbi Abou was supposed to prepare the calf just for the kidney. Wow. Amr B'Shua ben Levi, anybody who answers Amen Yesh Meraba with all of his strength, Koran Lo Gzardino, we tear up his negative decrees. Shnei Amar, as the pasuk says, before a pros be Yisrael, B'Isnadev Am Baruch Hu Hashem, that when things are What was that? Before pros be Israel, Bisnadevam. I don't remember what the Metzudas David says now, but basically, but the Gemara says what the drush is. So my time of before pros. How come we're tearing up, right? Meaning lifroa also means to tear up, or parua to be wild. So how come we're tearing up this decree, these decrees? Mishum de Baruch Hashem, because they blessed God, because they said Amen Yesh Merabba Mevarach. Rabbi Chia bar Abba, Rabbi Yochanan, says Rabbi Chia bar Abba in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Afilu Yesh Shemetz Shel Avodah Zarah Mochlin Lo. Even if he has some kind of like a speck of Avodah Zarah, we'll forgive him for it if he says Amen Yesh Merabba with all of his strength. It says before pros by in this pasuk in the context of that we're learning to refer to Yesh Merabba, and it also says kiparuahu. It says by the Cheta Egel, which is Avodah Zarah, that kiparuahu. So we learn from the parua that even if you have a sort of speck, a hint of Avodah Zarah, you will be forgiven by one good Yesh Merabba. Amr Shlakish, Kol Ha'oneh Amen B'chol Kocho. Somebody who says Amen with all of his strength, Poschin Lo Shairei Gan Eden, we open up for him the gates of Gan Eden, of paradise. Shneimar Pischu Shairim V'yavo Goy Tzadik Shomer Emunim. Open up the gates, and the righteous nation should come. Those who guard emunim. Al Takrei Shomer Emunim Ela She'omrim Amen. Don't read it. Those who guard belief, rather say She'omrim Amen. Those that say Amen. Wow. My Amen. What is Amen? Amr Reb Chanina Kel Melech Ne'eman. Says Reb Chanina, it means God is a believable, or we believe in God, or a believed king. God is a believed king. Kel Melech Ne'eman is Oshetevos Amen. Amr Yehuda Breid Rav Shmuel Mishmei Derav Ein Adleika Mitzuya Ela B'makom Sheyesh Chilul Shabbos. Wow. A fire is only found in a place where there is desecration of Sabbath. Whoa. Shneimar, as the pasuk says, Vimlo Sishmu Elai, that if you do not listen to me, Likadesh Es Yom HaShabbos, to make holy the day of Shabbos, Muluvilti says Masa V'gomer, and if you refuse, if you refuse from not taking stuff to what does it say? I mean, if you do not prevent yourselves from taking stuff to the gates of Jerusalem, well, hitzati eish b'shayreah, well then I will, break out a fire in its gates. V'achla armenos Yerushalayim, and it will consume the palaces of Jerusalem. V'lo sivke, and you will not cry. No, it doesn't say that. It says v'lo sichbe, and you will not be able to put out this fire. My v'lo sichbe, what does it mean v'lo sichbe? Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak b'shah she'ein b'nei adam mitzuyin l'chabos, at a time when people are not available to extinguish it, i.e. on Shabbos. Amr Abaye, says Abaye, lo chaver Yerushalayim ela b'shvil shechilu ba'es haShabbos. The reason why Jerusalem was destroyed was because they desecrated the Sabbath. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, umishabsosai ha'elimu eineim, that they closed their eyes from my Shabboses, va'echal b'socham, and I became profane in their midst. Amar Bi'abau, says Rabbi Abau, lo chaver Yerushalayim el b'shvil shebitlu kriyas shma shachris va'arvis. Says Rabbi Abau that Jerusalem was destroyed because they were mivatel, they nullified the recitation of kriyas shma in the morning and the evening. Shneimar, as the pasuk says, hoi mashkime baboker sheichar yirdofu v'gomer. Woe is to those people who wake up very early and they just look for intoxicants. Uchsiv, and the pasuk says, "Vayakinor v'nevel tov v'chalil v'yayin mishteyem," and they would have all sorts of instruments, harps and lyres and drums and flutes and wine at their parties. Vespoal Hashem lo yabitu, and they didn't pay any attention to the fact that they were going to get in trouble from God. Uchsiv lachen gala'ami mibli das, and for that reason, my nation has been exiled without any knowledge. Amar Vamnuna. Says Rav Amnuna that Jerusalem was destroyed because the young children were no longer studying Torah. I don't know if that's because they didn't want to, or probably more likely was because they weren't being taught Torah. Shnemar, as the pasuk says, Shvoch al olel b'chutz v'gomer, to pour out on the olel b'chutz, on these young children outside. Ma tam shvoch, how come God's anger is pouring forth. Mishum te'ola b'chutz, because you have these children outside, nobody's teaching them any Torah. Amar Ula lo charvu Yerushalayim elam pnei shelo haya lahem boshes panim zeh mizeh. Says Ula that Jerusalem was destroyed because people didn't have any embarrassment one from the other. Shneimar, as the pasuk says, Hovishu, be embarrassed, ki to'eva asu gam bosh lo yevoshu, because they've done terrible abominations, terrible things, and they will not be embarrassed. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, lo charvu Yerushalayim ela b'shvil shehushvu katan v'gadol. Says Rabbi Yitzchak, Jerusalem was destroyed because they created an equivalence between small people and big people, and that's not talking about physical size. It's talking about greatness. Shneimar, as the pasuk says, vaya ka'am kakoin, that they made like the general people, like the priests. And it says afterwards, hibok tibok haaretz, that the land will be emptied out. Amr of Amram Breder of Shimon bar Abba, Amr of Shimon bar Abba, Amr of Chanina, lo charvu Yerushalayim ela b'shvil shelo ochichu zeh, that Jerusalem was destroyed because they didn't give musar to one another. Hayusarea, Shneimar, as the pasuk says, Hayusarea ke ayalim lo matzu mir'eh, that they're, let me just make sure I read that correctly. Yeah, that their officers were like, oh gosh, what's ayalim? Oh, rams. Yeah. They're like rams that did not find any pasture. Ma'ayil zeh rosh shel zeh b'tzad znavo shel zeh. Just like this ram, its head is right next to the tail of the ram that's in front of it. Af Yisrael sheba'oso ador kavshu pneim b'karka. Also, the Yidden in that generation, they just kind of covered their face in the ground. They just put their face in the ground and they didn't give musar to one another. Amr Rabbi Yehuda, said Rabbi Yehuda, lo charvu Yerushalayim ela b'shvil shebizu ba talmidei chachamim, that Jerusalem was destroyed because they disgraced Torah scholars. Shneimar bayu malivim b'malachei Elokim, that they were disgracing the angels of God, uvozim dvarav, and they were disgracing his words, umesaitim b'neviav ad alos chamas Hashem ba'amo, and they were putting down his prophets until God's anger went in his nation, ad le'ein marpeh, until there's no healing. My ad le'ein marpeh, Amar V'yura Marav, mivaz Talmud Chacham, anybody who disgraces a Talmud Chacham, ein lo refuah l'makaso, he has no healing to his wound. Amar Yehuda, Amar Rab, what does it mean, do not touch my anointed ones and do not do any harm to my prophets? Do not touch my anointed ones. These are these young children. And do not do harm to my prophets. These are the older Torah scholars. Amar Reish Lakish Mishum Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya, says Reish Lakish, the name of Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya, Eina Olam Miskayim Ela B'Shvil Hevel Tinokos Shabbos Rabban. The world only remains existing because of the Hevel Tinokos Shabbos Rabban, because of the breaths of these young children who are studying Torah by their Rebbe. Amar Leit Rav Papa Abai, says Rav Papa Tabai, Didi v'didach mai. What about you and I? Right? We just said such great things about young children who are studying Torah. What about me and you that we're older but we nonetheless study Torah? Amar Leit. So Abai says to Rav Papa, Eino dome hevel sheyesh bochet lehevel she'ein bochet. There's no comparison between the breaths of the right that do not have any sin. You cannot compare that to breaths that do have sin, i.e., us who are older and have already sinned. For Amar Reish Lakish Mishum Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya, and says Reish Lakish, the name of Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya, in Mevatlin Tinokos Shel Beis Rabban Afilu Levinyan Beis Hamikdash, we do not interrupt young children who are studying Torah, even to build the Beis Hamikdash. Amar Reish Lakish Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya, and said Reish Lakish Rabbi Yehuda Nesiya, Kach mekublani mi'avosai va'amrilach va'amrila mi'avosecha. This is the tradition that I have from my fathers. Some say Lamaisi was from your fathers. Kol ir she'ein ba tinokos shel Beis Rabban machrivin osa. Ravina Amar machrimin osa. So any city that doesn't have young children studying Torah, so we destroy it. Ravina says not only we destroying it, we do even worse than destroying it. Destroying, there might be some structures left, right? But machrimin is like to completely and utterly raze the city. V'amar Rava, and said Rava, lo charvu Yerushalayim ela b'shvil shepasku mimena anshe amana, that the reason why Yerushalayim was destroyed is because there were no longer any trustworthy people, any believable people. Shneimar, as the pasuk says, "Shotu b'chutzos Yerushalayim u'ru'una." Go, walk around, stroll around the streets of Jerusalem and see for yourselves, u'du'u, and know, u'vikshu b'charvosel, and request and ask and seek in its streets. Im timtzu ish, im timtzu ish. If you find a man, one second. How does this pasuk go? Okay. Im yesh ose mishpat mevakesh emuna ve'eslach la. If there is anybody who will do justice and seek emunah, seek belief, ve'eslach la, and then I will forgive the city. So, meaning the point being that there was nobody in the city, there were no anshe emunah in the anshe amanah in the city. Anyway, is this really true? Ve'amar of Katina, it said of Katina, afilu b'shas kishlona shel Yerushalayim, even in the worst times of Jerusalem, even when Jerusalem failed, lo pasku mimena anshe amana, there was always anshe amana, there were always trustworthy people. Shneimar, as the pasuk says, ki yispos ish be'achiv beis aviv simla, that when a person will sort of request or seek from his brother, but not necessarily his literal brother, but a relative, simla, a dress, licha katzin tiyet lanu, and he would say to this person, hey, why don't you be our leader? So what does this mean that he will ask for a dress? So dvarim shebnei adam miskasin boen kesimla yeshnam bi'adecha, that he's basically saying things that people generally cover up like a dress, like clothing, like a dress, you have. Meaning, as Rashi says, when you ask somebody, Torah, so he's kind of humble and he doesn't necessarily say, basically they were saying that, you're a Torah scholar. Ve'amachshela azos tachas yodecha. Dvarim she'ein bnei adam omdin aleim ela imkein nichshalim b'ayim. And it says that this, what was machshela? What was this? This machshela? This, exactly. And any of these people who are doing no good, you will take care of them, I believe. You will give rebuke. So it means dvarim she'ein bnei adam omdin alein elam kein nichshalim b'ayim. These are things that somebody is only able to understand them if they first fail with them. Yeshna tachas yadecha. You have them, right? Meaning studying Torah, that you still have to do it, you have to study a few times till you can get it. Basically, they were saying that they were looking to, they would say to somebody and approach them, they would say, hey, you're a Torah scholar, why don't you come lead us, right? Katzin tiyelanu, why don't you be an officer for us? And what would he respond? Yisa bayomahu leimor, and he would, raise up before them saying, lo eye chovesh v'gomer, he says, no, I will not be able to be in a position where I will, give musar to people. Ein yisa el lashon shvua, and the pasuk says yisha is a lashon of shvua, it's a swear. V'cheinu omer, and similarly it says lo sisa as shem Hashem, right? Do not swear in the name of God's in God's name in vain. Lo eya chovesh, what does it mean lo eya chovesh? Lo eya michov she'atzma beveis hamedrash. He says, look, lemaise, I'll tell you the truth, I'm really not much of a Talmud Chacham to speak of. V'veisi ein lechem v'simla, and in my house there's no bread and there's no clothing. Shen biyadi lo mikra v'lo mishnah. I don't know mikra and I don't know mishnah v'lo gemara. So basically, so back in the context of the Gemara, what's going on? We said, who said this? Rava said that Jerusalem was destroyed because there were no trustworthy people. Yet we seem to have this pretty honest interaction where people approached a person and they said, hey, you're a Torah scholar, why don't you be in charge of us? And he said, no, I'm actually not a Torah scholar, I don't know any, Tanakh, I don't know any Gemara, I don't know any Mishnah. So we see, this guy was pretty trustworthy. So the Gemara answers, Umimai, how do you know that means he's trustworthy? Dilma shiny also, maybe it's different because he had no other choice but to admit that he doesn't know anything. Di Amrulu Gemirna, because if he would say that I do know, I am a Torah scholar, Amrule, they would say to him, Emalan, well then tell us something. So, meaning he had no choice. It doesn't mean that he's a trustworthy person and he's an Anshe Amana. It means that he realized that, well, if he accepts the position, they're going to very quickly find out that he's really not a Torah scholar. So, but he wasn't necessarily, if he could have gotten away with it, maybe he would have. So the Gemara says no. Havale lemeimar gomar v'shachach mai lo eya chovesh klal lo. No, meaning he was an upright person, because if he was not an upright person, so he would say, oh no, I was learned, but I forgot. The fact that he was saying that, I'm really not a learned person, he's being honest, he's being straight. So how could Rava say that Jerusalem was destroyed because there were no longer any, upright people? This guy was being pretty upright, he was being pretty straight. He's saying, look, I'm not a Talmud Chacham. So lo kasha, kam b'divrei Torah, kam b'maso matan. It depends. B'divrei Torah, so then Rashi says, when it came to Divrei Torah, they were honest and they were trustworthy. When it came to business, that was a whole other thing, and that's why Jerusalem was destroyed. Wow, that was a cool daf, right? Yeah, that was pretty cool. Without going into everything, but some highlights. There was Abaye with making a Siyum whenever anybody would finish the Masechta. We talked about the ways that Rabbi Chanina and Rabbi Yanai would greet the Shabbos, right, with boi kala, different. Then we talk about different things that the Amoraim would do in order to prepare for Shabbos. The story of Rabbi Yosef Mokir Shabbat. Rabbi Yosef, who really loved Shabbos. Some other notable things, we talked about those two angels who escort somebody back from his home on Shabbos, and if he lit candles and made his bed and prepared the table, then the angels would bless him, it should be so the next week, and if he didn't do that, then he would be blessed that it should be also so the next week. Anybody who says Amen Yesh Mirabim with all of his strength, then a negative decree will be torn up, and we say, and it says Rish Lakish, anybody who says even regular Amen with all of his strength, so then we open up the gates of Gan Eden for him. Then towards the end we talked about all sorts of reasons why Jerusalem was destroyed. Okay, friends, I hope that you enjoyed this daf. I thought there was some really, really cool stuff here. I hope you felt the same. Have a great day, great night, great everything. Peace.